I literally just woke up like an hour ago.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
I'm used to like an early bird, like late night schedule. So like I woke up at like 7 for no reason.
Hella early, bro.
Even if on my day off, like I just wake up early, I just like fuck around. I go to the gym.
Yeah.
Oh, we can cuss or whatever?
Yeah, 100%, bro.
For sure.
And that's how we're starting the podcast. This is the lunch table, food for
hey.
thought. I'm Nico Blitz. Make sure you hit that subscribe button at the bottom left-hand corner and also press that bell. That way you know whenever we post a new interview. I've had a lot of people from Long Beach in within the past week alone, and a lot of people from Long Beach in general. Shout out to Hey Dion. Shout out to
Hey Dion. I just
Statica. Shout out to
April.
Shout out to April, man. Shout out to TF Third. Shout out Stupid Young.
Yep.
Another person from Eastside Long Beach, G Funk Supreme. What's poppin', bro?
Turn what's happening?
You know what I mean? Eastside Long Beach in the building, bro. It's nice to see you, and
Likewise.
it's nice to see G Funk still living.
For sure.
We don't see a lot of artists really pushing that right now.
Nah, definitely. I think it's just like I like to consider myself something like somewhat old school but modern. But like being able to keep things alive, good things alive at least. It's a good feeling.
Yeah. So you must have grown up on like Snoop, Nate.
Yeah, Snoop was like the first rap artist that I heard. It was like, I don't know, like 93. I was in my living room and my brother was playing him. And as a kid, I didn't know what he was saying, but I just kind of I resonated with the sound and just how it made me feel. So I was like, I just like the way it made me dance, just kind of be cool. As I got older, I started understanding his style and just the way he was moving. So he was a big like inspiration to like my style of music and shit like that.
Well, I feel like a lot of people who I've interviewed who come out of Long Beach, their style is a lot more just like smooth and slick, the way Snoop really was.
Right. So yeah. I think, it's a California thing. Not only that, like, to be even more specific, like a Long Beach thing, like you definitely have that groove or that niche of like how people from Long Beach are kind of just laid back, kind of chill, kind of have like that gangster vibe. It's just the way you move. As if you was from anywhere else. LA got a vibe, their own vibe. You go to Detroit or wherever like that, they got their own bounce. You know what I mean? So yeah.
But I feel like Long Beach is definitely one of those sections in LA that really has made a big name for itself in terms of music.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, what is it about like the Long Beach water, bro? Like,
hey,
you know what I mean? Like, I just love being out there because as soon as I pull up over there, like I just feel a huge amount of just like good energy just coming from the city, bro.
I think it's just a combination of a lot of different things. We're in the middle of just a lot of good energy. You know what I mean? Right between LA, the IE, down not too far from the Bay Area. So we just a big blend of just different cultures and varieties. Not only that, we just also a melting pot of a lot of different cultures and shit like that. So I think it just makes it warm. It makes it feel comfortable to be there. You know what I mean? And so, yeah. And the style and everybody that's coming out from Long Beach, man, it's a beautiful thing because I feel like everybody's in their own lane, their own sound and shit like that. So it's dope. It's dope to see.
Well, that's why it's cool seeing how, like, for instance, you're really into like the G-Funk shit, right? Yeah, and also like listening to your album Unapologetic, like there's a couple like slow bangers on there. You feel me?
Yeah, for sure.
So you have your style on lock, and then when you listen to Stupid Young, like you get more of just like the club bangers type of shit.
Yeah.
And then when you listen to TF Third, I mean, like he really cultivated like the jerkin movement like way back in the day, and there's like so many different styles that come out of Long Beach too, that there's not necessarily a Long Beach sound when it comes to like the sonics,
right,
but again when it comes to like y'all just like very much laying yourself down on like such a chill mode, that's what I feel like Long Beach is.
I'm proud of it, man. Like with Tay, with Young, like we don't live too far from each other either. We probably live like just a couple blocks radius, right? But to even hear like the music that we make is so different and so broad. It's like man, like you get different pieces of everybody just within that bubble alone. And just so imagine just the different parts of Long Beach that you go to, like Satica, April. I know it as April, but just like another blend of different styles of music. Hey Dion, who I just heard of at the Once Upon a Time festival. This
opened
kid,
up for Snoop, by the way.
He did, man. That's big love, man. And congrats to him for that too.
Yeah.
So you just get a different blend of like just styles and all that. So it's dope.
So what was it like for you growing up in Long Beach? Are you from Cambodia town?
Yeah, well, the heart of Cambodia town is like on Anaheim And so I live on like 17th and Orange, which is like this. It's pretty much like Central East Side. It's like a few blocks away from Anaheim. But yeah, I'm from the East Side of Long Beach.
What was it like for you growing up there, bro?
I think, it's similar to a lot of Cambodians growing up in Long Beach. It's like, minority living in a gang-filled city. You have discrimination, you have stereotypes, you have, people on welfare, low-income living.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good way to put it is we found beauty in the struggle, right? We was able to take things that some other people might look at and be like, damn, they got it rough. But we was able to make some out of nothing. So I think that's what's beautiful about it is when you can appreciate the less you have and make the most out of it. So that was dope about it.
That's why I was reading up on like having a more minimalistic lifestyle, right?
Yeah,
and it's kind of
yeah.
like the more things that you have in your life, the more you kind of like stress about shit, right? Like I used to buy like hella shoes when I was a kid. And I'm just like, I need to be on this shit like all the time. But now I'm just like slowly getting rid of like I guess all the unnecessary things
for sure.
in my life. And especially from like your section, like where it's a lot more like poverty stricken. Like, you really came from nothing, so it's kind of like, well, you're just gonna keep on wanting to like live.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Finding ways to survive is the most important thing.
Definitely. I mean, we came from our families, our parents, they came from a war back home.
Yeah.
And they didn't get to America until like the late 80s. So we really only like 4 decades in. Me being like a first generation within my family being in America, we're just learn how to figure shit out, right? But I think that's the best thing about just humans in general. Like you put somebody in an uncomfortable situation, they just gonna adapt and learn and figure shit out, right? And so now as you probably see like more Asians in the industry, or you see more of us in fashion, or more of us just doing some things that might be of shock value to a lot of people. But it's just us now that we just figured out how to play the game just like anybody else. You know what I mean? And
also, too, we don't have to go through a war. Just like your parents did, bro.
Well, at least a war back home. We got our own war back here. But, just learning how to adapt and maneuver and stay out the way,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Did your parents ever, like, tell you about what they had to go through just to get here?
My mom, she told me a few stories. So when she had birth with my older brother, who's like 40 now, so he's like about like 10, 11 years older than me.
Okay.
She was holding him as a baby while she's running through like just all that mayhem and shit going on, waiting to get sponsored, waiting to get picked up by the helicopters and shit like that. And just stories about like my aunt. My aunt, she had lost her whole village, her whole family. So her husband, her kids and all that, right? And one day I asked her about it, but somebody like my mom stopped me real quick, like, no, don't talk about it.
Yeah. So
she was running in the forest and shit like that. Come to find, she ran into her sister, which is my sister's-in-law's mom.
Okay.
So she ran into her sister in the forest or in the jungle or whatever. She's like, damn, I thought all y'all died. So she reconnected with them. She just stayed with them the rest of her life. So she lives with them now.
Yeah.
I mean, so I can't even imagine, like, these are just stories of, like, 2 people that I've heard so far. Like, that's close in my proximity. But then imagine the stories of everybody else that's just like, man, it's crazy. So that's why I like, I got to just be thankful, be appreciative of what I have and all the opportunities we got here in America and just try to make the most of it,
How was, like, the stories between, like, your mom and, like, your auntie? How are those, like, war stories relatable to the current war stories that go on in, like, Long Beach and, like, where you're from?
So there's gonna be a few ways people gonna look at it, right?
Hey man, we got time, bro.
Some people is gonna say like, man, how are you as a kid, as a young dude, gonna try to relate to somebody's story like that? Like you ain't lived through something like that to that caliber at least. But for me to be able to relate, if I can try to like put myself in their shoes back here, we're dealing with a whole new generation of wars, right? Discrimination, trying to find identity in a place that. We've only been here for like 4 or 5 decades, right? Southeast Asians, at least, gang wars, just trying to stick up for yourself and just trying to protect one another from bullies or just from people who just like, who don't look like you or whatever like that.
Yeah.
And it's just even trying to find a social status, trying to fit in, trying to do something to where you feel like you have value, within the ecosystem, I would say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just like, that's mentally a whole new war right there. You know what I mean? So that's just like one way I would look at it. It's not physically the same as like what my parents went through back home. You know, starvation, people dying around you, shit like that.
Uh-huh.
Now it's like a big mental game. It's a mental war. You know what I mean? Trying to find a place to fit in and shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And, you know, I think nowadays, like, a lot of people are becoming a lot more open about the processes that are going through their head. You know, a lot of people are more so opening up about depression and, like, the, you know, like, the mental factors that be fucking with you on a daily basis, right? So, I mean, I appreciate for you for, like, sharing that type of shit because, no like, problem. You know, like, I think people only see war as just, like, you know, motherfuckers just, like, blasting at each other. But it's, like, especially for, like, Asian American culture, right? I think you've just given more reason as to why a lot of Asians are making their way into the industry now. And it's for the fact that, like, we're trying to find our identity in this country that we haven't been in for so long.
Right, for sure, yeah. I think we now just figured out how to be unapologetic about ourselves.
And shout out to the quick plug. You know the album?
And segue. I mean, that's exactly one of the reasons why I titled it Unapologetic. Is just, I didn't want to hold back from anything I wanted to say. This is who I was. Everything I said on the album, or everything I was just like talking about was me in its fullest and its purest form. I got songs that talk about just real life shit, just try to motivate people, to songs I talk about like relationships with like girls and shit like that, to me turning up with the homies. Like, you know, that's me in its purest form, and I relate to everybody because everybody talks about the same shit, you know? And I wanted to, I just wanted to be unapologetic about it. Like, yo, this is who I am. This is who we are. We ain't no different from anybody else, whether your skin, creed, background, or whatever like that. So,
What was the hardest song for you to make on the album?
The hardest song?
Like, you might have just been, like, stuck trying to write a verse to a beat.
So, this song, it wasn't the hardest song, but it was the longest. It took me like 3 years to finish, called Greatest Love.
3 years?
Yeah.
That's the one you just put the music video
out.
out
Yeah, I just dropped the video to that. Only because, so that song, like, I didn't want to force nothing on it, right? And I think as a rapper, like, people kind of be like, oh, you a rapper. Like, why you, like, talking about shit like this? You know what I mean? But I felt like I just wanted to be transparent with, like, my emotions and my feelings and shit like that. I just didn't want to force nothing. I had, like, one verse done 1 year. Over time, like, we did the hook a few times. And then finally, when it came time for this album, the chick who I've heard, who I worked with before, I was like, let me see if I can get on this hook. And when she killed it, I was like, man, she did an amazing job.
Yeah.
And so I already had this song like planned out for like 3 years. We finally shot the video, so it was like a 3-year song. So I'll probably say that's like, I wouldn't say that's my hardest song, but that was just like the one that took the longest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it took a lot more time to just, like, a 3-year span just to create one song is crazy to me, bro.
With the album, I really didn't force nothing. So I wouldn't say anything was hard. Like, I'll write all my shit, like, prior to going to the studio. I have, like, a few ready just to go in, get work done. So I wouldn't say nothing was, like, the hardest one. So I just made sure every song was easy for me to just be organic and natural and not have to force anything. That's what the album, it was just easy for me to do as soon as I go in, just, you know what I mean? And so, yeah.
Let me ask you this. What is the greatest love to you?
The greatest love is just, like, being able to understand somebody unconditionally, you know, without thinking of your own beneficial gain. But you really just fucking with somebody on a vibe, you know, on your own wavelength, you know, without having to carry on no other tune or nothing like that. You guys are just in sync with whatever frequency you guys are on, you know? And it just means a lot of different things, you know? It don't always got to mean 50-50. It could be 60-40, or it just however you guys work it out. It's something for you guys to understand and nobody else to understand. So that's what the greatest love is about. You know?
Man, shout out to that, man.
Hey,
that was a really good explanation, bro.
That part, yeah, turn up.
You know, I'm noticing all the tattoos and even your pendant. Did you grow up, Buddhist?
Yeah, so primarily, like, my family is Buddhist, but, you know, I'm, like, to be honest, I'm not, like, fully religious or something like that, but it's just something that, like, my family picked up on. So all my tattoos is, like, cultural, like, so I'm Cambodian, and so everything from, like, on my body is all, like, cultural tattoos from, like, the Buddha. I got a food dog, a phoenix. I got, like, a Hanuman, which is, like, the monkey warrior. I got a Ganesha. I got a rose on my leg. But the rose is not Buddhist. It's, like, the rose is for Tupac. Like, I got it by my foot. It's because the rose that grew from the concrete.
Oh, wow,
But
that's
I got
crazy.
it as a play on words. It's the rose that I rose from defeat. So that's why I got it by my foot.
I like that, bro.
You know what I mean?
I
thought about this shit for like 6 months. I was like, ain't nobody got this. I was like, yo, I'm finna get that.
How old were you when you got that one?
This was like last year.
Oh, so super recent.
Yeah, my first tattoo, I was like, I don't know, it was like 8 years ago. I was like 120 pounds and shit. I got it on my ribs, yeah.
Wait, what was your first tattoo?
It's a Garuda on my right rib.
What's a Garuda?
So, no, my bad. It's not a Garuda. It's a Hanuman. So it's a monkey warrior. So in the Hindu religion or Hindu world or the Buddhist world, whatever like that, we have this character called a Hanuman is how you say it. But really in English, it's a monkey warrior.
Okay.
And so they're half monkey, half human, and they're one of the goddesses that's viewed as a warrior in that kingdom. You know what I mean? And so everything is related to like gods and warriors of like Buddhist or Asian background or cultural background.
Damn, that's super interesting. So then this warrior was kind of like the defender for like the homeland.
I mean, to relate it to how I view myself, you know what I mean? Not just being Cambodian, but just being a warrior or being a king for what you represent. So that's why I got it. Like all my shit I think about before I get it, right? I just don't just get tatted just for no reason, you know what I mean?
Yeah, bro.
And then the Ganesha, which is like half elephant, half human, it's the god of deity, right? The remover of obstacles, but they're also a god that symbolizes music. So I love music. That's what I do. Like, I fuck with music. So that's why I got that one. I don't want to just lift up my shirt and shit.
No, that's all good, you know, bro. I already believe you. We good.
Yeah. And then, everything else, it just relates to one another and shit.
Yeah, man.
So, yeah.
That's what's up, bro. Like, it's a different story whenever people, like, put some meaning into tattoos. I mean, granted, there's, like, one or two tattoos on people's bodies where they're just like, I kind of just got it.
I always tell people, like, everybody got their own story to tell. So, like, how would yours read? If you used to tell somebody your story or somebody was to pick up your book, like, how would yours read? Like, you know what I mean? So,
let's get into your musical book, bro. How'd you even get into rapping?
So, rap, I like telling this story. So, in middle school, my homeboy, he had brought a CD with his cousins rapping on it. And they're Asian. So, like, in the 6th, 7th grade, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, Asian dudes, that don't work. That don't belong. That don't exist, right?
That's so weird.
I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, that's cool, right? So, I just kind of, like, fucked around, rap. I took a poetry class in the 8th grade. That's when I started learning structure, like songwriting, metaphors, similes, and like meaning behind your words, right? And then high school, I started fucking around, making songs for the homies, for girls. But when I went to college is when I started maturing. I started growing up. I started going through real life experiences. And it was like my anti-drug to use to make music to stay away from like all the bullshit going on. Like the gangs, all the violence, and all this other shit that I was trying to stay away from. So it was just really my segue to just, just stay out of the bullshit. And just, it just made me happy. I found like a real big passion for it. And then I started doing mixtapes in college. I kind of taking it more serious, you know what I mean? Like actually booking like time to go record, paying an engineer to do all my shit, making videos and all that.
That's that independent shit, bro. There we go.
You know what I mean? It's all about ownership. You know what I mean? Even Nipsey talked about it. Like, but this is stuff like people talked about way before mine, his, or anybody's time. Like to own your own product, to be in control of your vision. You know what I mean? It's very important. So from like making the songs to shooting the videos to concepts to all that, like we was already doing all that. And so now, like when I first put on my first debut album, it was my last semester at college. I put it out like on iTunes, like the homie John Lee, like he had told me about like TuneCore to distribute my shit to go like, so all your shit can be played by anybody. And so that's why everything was just a learning process. So now when fast forward to my second album, was like a 4-year period. I was like, man, this one got to be better. This one got to be way, way, way better. From the production to the sound to the artwork to the content to everything, you know what I mean? So I always viewed it as like anything I would do music-wise or just in life, got to be better. Like you got to want to grow, right? Everybody got to want to do better the next day, do more, right? You know what I mean?
Well, that's why it's funny whenever I hear this question, like, whenever I sit down during interviews, it's like, what album do you think was your best album? It's like, obviously, you know what I mean? It's like your most recent album should be better than your last album, or at least in like the artist's head. It's like
I was never gonna put nothing out if it wasn't better than my last shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Not to say that what I did before wasn't good enough, but it's just like I need to top how I was back then.
You gotta find ways to keep on escalating your life. If you made some shit that was basically synonymous to the first shit, it's like, why did you even put this shit out?
Right. Yeah, it's just about evolution and just showing growth.
Yeah.
And that's all it's about, you know.
That's why. Do you remember when Kendrick released that those Untitled projects?
Yeah.
I was just like, to me, I was like, bro, I don't know why you did this because I wish you would have just added this onto the album. Like,
He
you know
had
what
some
I mean?
bangers on there too. I think
He
Top
did.
like they were just riding the wave. I think Top just wanted to drop it like, oh, we got
Just
here
some extra shit.
Yeah, here's some stuff that we can get some streams off of, whatever like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
Well, you know, speaking of TDE too, I was just creeping on your IG and shit, and then you actually have like a quick little flick of you and J-Rock, and you were saying how J-Rock actually inspired you to be in the rap game.
Right. So J-Rock, you know, like he was one of the first off of TDE. He was like the foreman of Top Dog, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he came around pretty much the same time with Nipsey. So there was just two big idols that I looked up to as far as styles. Like J-Rock just had this raw, like rugged, like style. You know what I mean? And the homies had told me like, yo, he about to go do a pop-up at Riff LA. I was like, oh shit, let's go.
Yeah.
That's how I brought my CD. I just wanted to meet him, just talk to him, just be able to just shake hands or some shit like that, right? And just back from just how he was, his demeanor, his delivery just helped like me understand like, man, he was like just nonchalant, just had this not give a fuck attitude about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Nip. Nip had that cool player, but he had like that knowledge. Like he spoke gems every time he rapped. You know what I mean? And so with J-Rock, it was no different. I was like, man, I just wanted to meet him. So when I got the chance, I was like, yo, I just wanted to give him a copy of my album.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to go buy his, and just trying to exchange like, you know, a form of appreciation. Like, yo, thanks. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Did he say anything back to you or like?
No, he was just like yo, I appreciate it. Good looking. And he posted the picture with my album. You know, he was about to put it down. He was like, nah, you know what? Then he put it back up. Like, yo, I thought that was cool. I wasn't trying to have him do it, but he did it. So I was like, that was dope.
Yeah, man. Shout out to J-Rock. Shout out to TDE,
yeah,
man.
Shout out to the whole
they got
camp,
so
man.
much influence across. I mean, I can't even say LA. They have so much influence across
just
the world,
bro. Like, just the whole world. Like, just the way they come about with a lot of stuff is just like, it's dope. I like their whole like presence and their whole rollout with all their projects and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
That's why I even heard like, I guess Top keeps all of them in just like this one house, just fucking labbing for hours and hours on end for like years and years, bro.
I be hearing stories about like what goes on behind the scenes. Like, you know, like artists, like some, you know, a small world, right? You just talk to different artists that sometimes be around different people, and it's just their thought process is crazy. Like, you know, I don't know. And maybe one day we'll be able to sit in the room with them, right?
Hey, probably, bro.
Yeah, one day. So yeah.
Do you have like any like pre studio rituals that you have before you get in the booth?
Yeah, I go to the gym every day. I go to the gym every day, bro, because like it's just a form of just releasing like all your energy and shit like that. So even before I go to the studio, I go to the gym. Whoever studios I'm with, I just like, yo, you know, you guys want something to eat? I'll just bring like some tea, some snacks.
Tea.
Just something like, you know what I mean? I don't really like to...
Sounding very Asian, bro.
Yeah, I don't really like to turn up when I go to the studio. You know, that's my sanctuary. So I need to feel relaxed. I need to be able to vibe and be at my fullest comprehension. So I need to be able to think. So I don't really do too, like, no crazy shit. Like, I'm not, like, eating, like, all blue M&Ms and shit or nothing like that, you know? Like, no crazy bullshit like that, you know what I mean? I just chill, we eat, we chop. I like to talk to people, though. I like to chop it up with people and just see what kind of energy they on, how your day was, just make sure we set the right tone.
Yeah.
And then we get started, you know what I mean?
Well, because I feel like whenever I hop into a studio session, I immediately feel weird because I'm just like, fuck, these motherfuckers have been here for hours, and I'm just over here walking in here like, hey, what's up, y'all? What up? What's good?
Nah, you know, I just like to make sure, like, we all in the same good space, you know what I mean? People's all, like, on good energy and shit like that. So I just try to, you know, say what's up to everybody, make sure everybody's good. And once everybody's cool, we get started, you know what I mean? So,
you know, I was looking back at your discography, too, and I saw that you had a record with Tay F3rd, and that shit was banging.
Cali Grammar,
But I know you're also cool with, like, Young, too. How come you don't have a record with Young?
We actually have a song together. I just didn't put it out. So So Tay F3rd, so I knew Tay F3rd since high school, right? He went to Wilson. The homies all went to Wilson. I went to Poly, though. But everybody already knew each other and shit.
Which is the one that Snoop went to? Was it Poly or Wilson?
He went to Poly. I don't know. He went to like a couple high schools. I don't know.
Okay.
I think he went to Cabrillo too, or something like that.
I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah. So Tay F3rd, no, we knew each other just from like high school clique days and shit like that. I knew he was rapping, and then just over time, he just continued to rap. So when I was making the first album, the homies that had like being connected with him, I was like, yo, I want to get a verse. So that was like just a no-brainer, right? Like we already knew each other, so that was cool. That song actually got picked up by AMC. It's this TV series called Lodge 49, season 2, by the way, which is out right now.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's on like on Hulu and AMC and shit like that. That was dope.
I gotta watch that shit then.
Yeah.
Just to hear the song.
I don't even know how they found me. I was in the gym. They emailed me. I was like, what the fuck? Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. Well, I have a song with Young, but it just I just shot him a couple to see like which one he wanted to hop on. He hopped on one. He sent it back, and I just wanted to like test the waters and shit. But with me, like, I like to get in the studio with people, right? Because I like to feed off of the energy. We feed off of each other. And I think with my style of music and his style, like, I think for us to put a song together, it just had to make sense for both parties. You know what I mean? Because he has a very different style with mine, too. I have a very, like, unique style opposed from his. And I think for us to be on a song, for me to put it out, at least, like, it just had to make sense for both parties. You know what I mean?
Like you guys like have songs in the bank, but there hasn't been like that perfect one where both of you are just like.
Because like I don't like to just put out shit just to put it out, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean, I like to like put thought into it. Like, yo, does this have meaning to it? Can this like shift the way people think about not just us, but about the game, you know what I mean, like that, because I like to make music that has, like, double meaning, like a double entendre type shit, you know what I mean, so, yeah, but, I mean, me and him are cool, like, we have, like, same mutual friends and shit like that, and people ask us, like, yo, why don't y'all got songs and shit like that, I just tell them the same way, I'm like, yo, like, it just has to make sense,
it just ain't been the right
like,
time
we got
yet.
a song, but it just, I didn't feel like that was the song I felt like can introduce or transition me and him as our song together. Like, yo, this is the song we have together.
Yeah.
Right.
Because sometimes I'd be looking at features, and it's like the feature carries the song a lot more heavy, and I'm just like...
Yeah. Because he, he's on some, like, super turned up, like, he be talking about, like, just, his shit, and then I talk about mine, but it's just like, how does this relate to each other type shit, you know what I mean? So, for us to do a song, I feel like it has to relate, that's all.
But yeah, how did you and Stupid Young end up meeting? Was it really just through mutual friends?
Yeah, so he's from the east side, right?
Yeah.
Oh, am I still recording?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, yeah. So he's from the east side, I'm from the east side, so he's from the section he's from, right? And we have just similar mutual friends. And we just run into each other at, like, house parties and shit like that. I shot dice with this fool, him and his homies. I lost all my money that day, though. But we were running back anytime. But yeah, so that's just how we just knew each other off of rap and shit like that. But just before rap, it was more mutual friends and shit.
Yeah.
And then we'd run into each other like at different functions and shit like that. I mean, so that's just how we know each other.
That's what's up, bro.
Yeah, shout out to him, man. He's doing his thing, man.
Long Beach seems like a very small ass area.
No, it is. It very much is. Especially in the Cambodian world, like everybody knows each other. You know what I mean? So yeah. I'm happy to see his growth, man. Like he just took it and ran with it. You know what I mean? Because looking back to where he was freestyling at, what was the shit called? Rain Rhymes or some shit like that.
I don't know, bro. All I know is he popped off like last year and he's still moving.
Yeah, as he should too. He got the torch right now. So man, I wish him the best moving forward.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, let's talk about you again. Like, what do you have coming moving forward? Because even Unapologetic was released back in March, bro.
Right. So I'm already working on my next project. But even besides that, like I've always been big on branding yourself, right? And just who you are outside of music. Like, what do you stand for? And so I've always been big into clothes. I've always been making my clothes, just designing new merch and just giving people an experience outside of music. Like, with your clothes, like, can they feel they represent something with you? Because when you wear somebody's stuff, right, like you wear, like, I don't know, like Nike, you feel like, damn, I feel like I'm a part of this culture, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I've always been big on clothes and just designing my own shit and just being an owner of, like, your own product. Because I don't even like to wear, like, name brand shit no more. I'll just rock my shit or the homies. Like, if you the homie and you got a brand, I'll just buy your shit and I'll just wear that, right? And so that's just what I've been big into. And music production or video production is what I've been, like, always creative or passionate about. It's just creating something that's going to last or make you think a long time and think, like, damn, what did he mean by that? You know what I mean? So I always been big into, like, just wanting to shoot film or just wanting to shoot, like, mini movies and shit like that. So aside from music, I always had goals and aspirations of having like my own production company, a global brand I can take worldwide. Shit that when I'm gone, shit is gonna last way ahead of my time, way beyond my time, right? So that's just like a few things that I'm working on right now.
Damn, bro, I'd love to see a short film.
Oh shit!
From you,
Speaking
dog.
of brand, hold on. Now that you
Oh shit. What you got?
So you say you're a medium.
Oh shit. My guy got the G-Funk Supreme hoodie.
Yeah.
One time, you dig? Yee.
And so this is also a physical copy of the album.
Oh shit! Thank you, bro.
You know what I mean, so I come from like the 80s and 90s, right? And so I'm big on like tangible items. And so I seen when you had the vinyl, I was like, yeah, he's gonna appreciate this.
100%, man. Look,
even though I made this as a collector thing, I knew these wasn't gonna like be like something that's gonna go crazy. But when I put it out, right, I was like, look, these is only a limited amount for people that want to have the tangible items. You can't get this nowhere else because I only made a certain number, and I made a box that had like all these cooler items on it. And, like those just went crazy, and just to being able to feel like you were part of like something that could be historic.
Yeah, bro.
That was it.
I feel you. That's why like. You know, this conversation about, like, the streaming world versus, like, how it was before. Like, now we're looking at, like, vinyls and CDs more as, like, these collectors. Like classic shit. So it's like whenever an artist comes out with this type of shit, it makes me feel like, oh, shit, well, you're really about your shit.
For sure. It's just, like I said, it's about branding, right? You know, like, when my time is gone, I want my story to live, like, 1,000 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These are going to be, like, treasures or like artifacts. One day it's gonna get buried or some shit like that. I want somebody to dust it off. Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I want you to be able to play it or listen to it. Like, oh shit, like this is actually value or something like that. You know what I mean? So yeah.
No, I love the way you think, man.
Thank you, man.
You know, you have like a really good head on your shoulders, bro. And
appreciate it.
I believe in G-Funk Supreme, man.
Hey,
yo, where can everybody find you, G?
Instagram /G-Funk Supreme. I talk back. You know what I mean? I'm big on Instagram because I feel like that's a good way to connect with people, right? Mm-hmm. Comment. Just saying what's up back to people. People appreciate that shit.
Just throw a yay, in the comment section.
Shout out to the Bay one time. Hey. Are you from the Bay?
I'm from the Bay, bro.
Okay, for sure.
You know what it is? San Francisco all day, every day.
My cousins is from there. So I was like 7 years old, right? That's why I say hella a lot. Like sometimes you catch me saying hella.
Okay.
And somebody, they're like, are you from the Bay? I was like, nah. They're like, you say hella a lot. I'm like, oh, shit, I don't know. Like, that must be a Bay thing. I don't know. But, yeah,
definitely a Bay thing, bro.
Yeah.
But it's a California thing at the end of the day. Shout out the Bay Area. Shout out Eastside, Long Beach, Cambodia town.
Turn up.
This is the lunch table, food for thought. I'm Nico, Blitz, G-Funk Supreme, and we are out, everybody.
Yay.